It's Week 5 of the National Football League, where London will play host to a different kind of football. It's the Jets and the Vikings, and it comes your way next on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to one of the great cities of the world, London, England.
With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara.
And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's second down. Here's 2nd and 7.
Out of the gun. Goff.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down.
From the 50, it's Goff.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Vikings first down, and comfortably so, as he gets 5 there on 3rd and a yard.
To throw is Goff.
Got a man, that's Ayuk. The numbers for Ayuk a week ago.
4 catches, 57 yards.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively. We are deep enough into the season where numbers count. This is the #1 rated defense in the NFL. He'll have a tough time.
Throwing again is Goff.
To the sideline and incomplete.
That his first incompletion after a 4-for-4 start.
Yeah, but they shouldn't back off from what they're doing. I like the play calling right out of the gate. I like the tone that they're setting. Keep going in that direction.
Here's Goff. On the check down, he finds Kamara. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher. That's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
To the air again. Goff.
Locates Mooney on the out route.
And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3. Now Goff. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22.
It's Gervon Dexter who got in to drop him.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. The kick by McManus is good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points. Maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
The numbers for Gibbs from last week.
23 carries, 130 yards.
And the way they ran the ball last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
No, we changed it. 13. Cut.
Here's Jackson to throw.
Got a man, it's London.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Holding offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
Now it's Jackson.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bottling him up defensively, and now it brings up third down. You look at this defense for the Vikings.
They come into this one down at the 27th position in the league, Charles, against the run.
One thing you do know, they'll be fired up because they're facing a top 5 rushing attack. And even if they have early success against them, they got to remember they got to sustain it because teams that are top 5, they don't stop running the ball if they don't get things done early.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that. The nickel look. 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then? You take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
And he'll be taken down at the 34. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
The Jets are the perfect 4-0 to start the campaign. They've been playing their best football of the year. Winners are 4 in a row.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Here's Jackson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. He's got his target. That's complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 18. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Now back to the ground. Here's Gibbs.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Jackson.
Over the middle and complete to Shaheed. And the Jets are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. Now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They've got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
And they'll try the option on 1st and goal.
And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
Throwing is Jackson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
Third and goal, Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while, but when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game.
Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest. You get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
Here's Goff. Connects with Kittle underneath. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Kittle with the nice hands there, and he's coming off yet another all-pro season in which he was a lone player at his position to eclipse 1,000 yards for the year, and he only needed 65 catches to do it. Once he grabs the ball, good luck getting him on the ground.
And a nice stiff arm. It opens room to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. .3-3, a tight one after one on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
4 down.
Goff now looking to throw.
And that one into the hands of Ayuk downfield.
Touchdown, Vikings! Brandon Ayuk, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. So that drive, 4 plays.
And it was Brandon Ayuk capping it off with a touchdown reception. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now Jackson